Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing great. So there's some good news for crypto users because usually in like for example like the last cycle in 2020 there were so many like scams and grifters and whatnot, and it was just like a big mess. So it's finally good to see like the average crypto user finally get like some good news. So if you are like a Gemini Earn user from like the Gemini exchange that was founded by the Winklevoss twins, you finally have a good chunk of your money back. It really sucks when you have like a lot of like crypto and money that was locked up for such a long time. So like around November 2022, there was something called Genesis Trading that was a subsidiary of Digital Currency Group, and when they declared bankruptcy, they halted a lot of like the funds that were like crypto funds that were from lenders. So, and it's finally like a year and a half later. So the good news happened like on last Wednesday, late May. So I think for most folks, they probably should have already gotten an email. So just in case, check your spam filters if you were a Gemini Earn user way back when. So they finally returned 97% of like the digital assets. So basically anything like the Bitcoin, Ethereum, you name it. Uh, you finally got most of your money back. So at the time of this recording, it's worth around like $2 billion. So that's really good news, especially they returned money like before like the top. So I think like crypto still has some room to go. So obviously you want to make sure like you take care of your funds this time. So there's still about like 3% outstanding. It's gonna take like another year, so it's still waiting for like the digital currency group to kind of return like this remaining 3%. But I think a lot of people are still happy just getting back like a good chunk of their money back. So like the strategy in crypto, they always say like not your keys, not your crypto. So obviously, I hope people will kind of like learn from this experience, and not lend to like kind of like unknown actors. So because even like for something like Gemini Exchange was at that time was still considered like pretty reputable, and they were regulated by the New York State Department of Financial Service and blah blah blah. But there's never like any guarantee, especially with crypto. So I think for most folks, I think it would probably make sense to cash out a chunk of it. So for example, if you had like what they call GUSD, this was the Gemini stablecoin. So I think it makes sense to kind of like convert that back to regular cash and like move it back to your bank. Just because I think for like right now, I mean I don't see any like use for like a GUSD. This is I think this was kind of like at their attempt at like their version of a US dollar stablecoin, but I think it might be better. Like if you're looking for an alternative, like almost any money market like pays around like 5%, and then Coinbase, like another crypto exchange, they offer like 5% currently on their USDC, but you always have to check back on the rates to make sure you're getting like the full 5%. And then like I think for like the money that was in just like regular crypto, like let's say like you had like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, or whatever crypto, I think it makes sense to move it to your own, yeah, like a self storage solution, maybe like a hardware wallet or like other options. I think for like I guess it's like for some people it might make sense to leave some of it on like the exchange in case like you want to swap it back out to US dollars at some point. But obviously that's up to you. And then the other thing is like, when would I consider going back into like high yield? Because I think this could be like also like another alternative for some folks. So right now, unfortunately, there's no like Bitcoin like spot ETF that has like options yet, and so obviously you can't have like a yield max version of like a Bitcoin spot. I know that they do have Ybit and they do have MSTY, so those are kind of like your next best like kind of like alternatives, but they're not perfect, obviously, because they're not like the actual Bitcoin like that you can transfer around to like your own like wallet and stuff. But I guess like these ETFs, they could be still useful in case like you just care about like the price movement. So obviously that's up to you. Personally, I'm not a fan of Bitcoin, Ethereum futures ETFs, but that's just me. For some people, you're not like so like stringent, so like obviously you can do whatever what you want with your own money. So I think like YBit could be, and then like Roundhill also has like YPTC, so that's like maybe you know if you don't care that much about like crypto and you just want to trade like kind of like the price movements, feel free. So anyway, if you like this type of content, please consider giving us a like. If you can subscribe as well, that's greatly appreciated. I hope people have a great day, and I hope people make some good money. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.